May I have your attention, please? Yeah, that ought to do it.
From Hollywood, welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott. It's showtime.
Oh, you bet your sweet ass it is. Are you ready to go with another action-packed adventure? I sincerely hope so. And I hope you're wearing boots today because it's going to get real deep in here. All right, here's what's on tap on the wrap. What's all this fuss about the real ID? We'll discuss it. Joe Biden blessed us with a verbal ass beating yesterday. We'll talk about. Is slumlord Governor Gavin Newsom trying to harm innocent Canadians now? I can't believe what he's up to now. And how about those new Lady Astronauts? The NBA play-in is underway. We'll recap it. Another round of head trauma is coming up. Today, we're going to see if you can guess the mystery voice, plus our usual loose behavior, including saw it on the X, the celebrity cheese, your email from our Gmail, one more thing, and shout-outs to Rat Nation. It's all coming up today on the Rat's Ass Podcast. Thanks for being here. Now, I think before we get rolling today, let's do a quick pity party for our butthurt Democratic friends. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Aww. Yeah, they're just getting their ass kicked all over the place, so got to feel sorry for them a little bit once in a while, don't we? Yeah, I agree. Nah, we don't have to. All right, people on social media are going batshit crazy over this Real ID. Now, first of all, you should have had it already. But thanks to good old Joe Kick-the-Can Biden, he pushed it off until May 7th, and some people are acting like, What? We got less than a month to get this done? You're kidding me. Should have had it done last year. But of course, Joe set a trap for Donald Trump, so he's getting abused about this thing. Not his fault. Another Joe Biden kicked the can down the road for somebody else to deal with. Now, I've had mine since 2023, and it's really no big deal. You know, I took my birth certificate. Yes, I really have one. Took it down to the DMV. My wife took her birth certificate, marriage license, and her passport, so she was ready for bear. And bada bing, bada boom, one bad picture. 4 weeks later, it was done. No biggie. No biggie whatsoever. Just makes life easier when you're traveling. All right, Joe Biden came out of hibernation yesterday to do a speech in Chicago. Now, the man responsible for flooding the United States with, who knows how many millions of illegals, including murderers and thieves. He got 13 Americans killed during the Afghanistan withdrawal, and then checked his watch during a ceremony honoring them. He left 2 American astronauts stranded in space, along with several hostages in Hamas. And he had the gall to ask the Trump administration yesterday, who are now in charge of cleaning up the worst mess in American history, who the hell do you think you are? They're fucking Mighty Mouse, here to save the day, you brain-dead curmudgeon. Now, I've always considered Joe Biden just to be nothing more than a word on the ass of society, but now he's going to be like this reoccurring dream like Freddy Krueger interrupting a really nice, sticky, wet dream. So the best we can hope for is that Joe just heads back to Delaware, pulls out his old beach chair, and dies in the sand so a horde of cats can cover him up like the turd he's always been.
No offense.
Yeah, slumlord Governor Gavin Newsom, our California governor, has been soliciting Canadians to come down to California to have some fun. Come on down. We need some of that Canadian coin. He's got that big phony smile on with a greased hair and looking casual. Here's how wonderful California is. Knowing full well he's inviting them down to sanctuary cities where they can all get beaten, robbed, murdered, and raped. So he can take their Canadian coin to cover his $200 billion state deficit. So my Canadian friends who listen to the Rat's Ass Podcast, try Gaza. I think you'll be safer. Now, I thought it was pretty cool when Katy Perry, Gayle King, Lauren Sanchez, and 3 mystery women got to take a joyride to the edge of outer space the other day. But afterwards, they all acted like they had just returned from Uranus for the first time, kissing the ground, when all they did was really take a glorified Disney ride for about 11 minutes, and they're lucky no one died. Then they were called astronauts. Astronauts. Now, if these women are astronauts, then anyone who flies on a plane is a frickin' pilot, okay? The NBA play-in got underway last night. And you know what? Throughout the NBA and NHL playoffs coming up, we're going to do a special sports report for you. Alexa, would you like to do the honors?
Oh boy, my big break. You know it takes ginormous hairy balls to let a digital chick say, here's Mojo Elliott with sports.
How do you follow that intro? Oh, God. Well, here's what happened. Orlando blew out Atlanta 125-95. I took Atlanta and looked like a dumbass. Orlando now moves on to play Boston. Golden State hung on to beat Memphis 121-116, so I went 1-1 last night in the opening night of the play-in. Now tonight it's Miami at Chicago. Dallas will play at Sacramento. I've got Chicago and Sacramento tonight, like I said on Monday. But watch the Kings and Anthony Davis make me look like a dumbass again today. We'll see what happens. Golden State now moves on to play Houston in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. All right, Atlanta and Memphis do get another shot at redemption Friday night when they play the losers of tonight's games to qualify for the 8th position in each of their conferences.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, today we're going to play the mystery voice. Listen close and see if you can guess who this famous actor is.
The first line was like Sergeant Blackout reporting for booty.
All right, listen real close again. Famous actor.
The first line was like Sergeant Blackout reporting for booty.
Who do you think that is? Kick it around, marinate on it. We'll have an answer coming up for you a little bit later on the podcast.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Oh, yeah, it's the hump day. Let's see what's going on the Rat's Ass Podcast X feed. James Bondage, 008, posted this one. Where have you woken up and didn't know where you were? All right, Hilarious Darius said, I passed out on an Amtrak journey from San Jose to Santa Barbara and woke up in San Diego. Now, don't laugh. This is common. This happens all the time. Years ago, we used to take people to Santa Barbara to the film festival. And one Monday morning, we had listeners call in and tell us the story where they got so hammered, they ended up in San Diego, and we're supposed to drop them off in L.A. But it happens. So, Darius, you're not alone. All right, Maya said, in college, I woke up in jail. Apparently, I left a party drunk, took somebody else's car and hit a police car from behind. To this day, I remember nothing about it. I smell a Jägermeister back out there. All right, Kim Yolis, I woke up next to my stepfather. He was naked, but I wasn't. So I'm positive nothing happened, but I was grossed out by his hairy butt crack. Yeah. God. Now, I can honestly tell you, folks, it's never happened to me. I've never passed out drunk, and the reason why is that I hung out with some really strange dudes. I really did, man. Anybody who passed out drunk, they thought, they're weak. They'd either shave off one of their eyebrows or they would glue, they would glue their butt cheeks together.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, I'm going to take this a quick minute here just to pay tribute to Jed the Fish, a popular radio personality here in Los Angeles who passed away this week at the age of 69 from lung cancer. Now, I only met Jed once back in the early 90s. He was on the air at K-Rock, and he was looking for a job while he was on the air. And this was pretty common practice. When you had a job, you looked for your next one. And he approached me, and I said, dude, you got no problems. You're not going anywhere on the world-famous K-Rock. But very nice individual, made a great impression on me, that's for sure. And what was unique about Jed, though, is that he was polished, but he sounded unpolished on the air. He had tremendous presence on the air with his fans. They loved him, man, really did, because he had this passion for the new wave and alternative music K-Rock played back then, long before anybody else did. So may Jed rest in peace in that great radio land in the sky. All right, the cast of The Breakfast Club reunited in Chicago for the first time in 40 years. They even found Judd Nelson, believe it or not. He's 65 now. Emilio Estevez is 63. Ali Sheedy, 63. Michael Anthony Hall, now 57, along with Molly Ringwald. She's 57. Now, fans had the opportunity to meet and greet each of the stars and pay them a hefty price for an autograph. Yeah, paid for autographs. Now they're making their money now. I think everybody paid $60, but Emilio Estevez commanded $100 for his autograph. Now, if you're wondering, there was no chance for a sequel because, let's face it, who's going to go see a film called The Blue Light Special Club, really? All right, Time Magazine has released its list of the top 100 most influential people, and would you believe Donald Trump and Elon Musk are on it? Also making the list were Ed Sheeran, musician, comedian Kristen Wiig, she's always very funny, Jalen Hurts, quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, Megyn Kelly, Joe Rogan, Blake Lively, and Mark Zuckerberg. But no Taylor Swift or Lizzo. No Swift or Lizzo. I mean, that's like ordering a pizza and leaving off the pineapple. Who does that? And did you see the photos of Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy's home in New Mexico? My God. It looked like a big hoarder house loaded in every room with just crap. Yeah, it was disgusting, to be quite honest with you. So go check out the pictures if you get a chance. But I wouldn't be surprised when they remove everything if they finally find Jimmy Hoffa's body. All right. Hey, just so you know, Britney Spears has been single now for 57 days.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
Yeah, this is where you email your questions and comments to me at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. No topic is ever off the table, so bring it on. I do not read your email in advance. My producer, Fleabag, forwards me your name, where you're from, and edits them down so I can respond rapid fire and on the fly. All right, Paige G. from Lancaster, California said, have you ever considered maybe Bernie Sanders is right about the oligarchy? Well, I'll tell you what, Paige. When Bernie sells 2 of his houses and donates his millions of dollars to a worthy cause, then we can talk about the oligarchy. All right, Terry K. from Plano, Texas. I disagree with you about Anthony Davis. I think he's going to take this opportunity to reestablish himself now that he's no longer in LeBron James' shadow. Well, you know, I don't know why there's this thought that I'm against Anthony Davis. I mean, he brought the Lakers a championship, so I hope he does well. I just don't think without LeBron there to motivate him, that he's going to be as effective as everybody thinks. All right, Timothy L. in Mesa, Arizona said, you said on X that you thought Godsmack was the best U.S. rock band to debut over the past 25 years. I did say that. But what do you think about bands like Shine Down, Avenged Sevenfold, and Ghost? Dig them all. Sound of Madness, my go-to song from Shine Down. Nightmare from A7S. Rats by Ghost. How can you not like those rockin' tunes, man? But hey, let me turn you on to Volbeat, too. I've tried to do this in the past, and people say, who's Volbeat? And it's spelled V-O-L-B-E-A-T, okay? And I want you to download these 3 songs, and if you don't get it, then there's no hope for you. All right, Hangman's Body Count, Doc Holliday, and Seal the Deal. You download those songs, I promise you, you'll be a Volbeat fan if you like to rock. Now, they've got a new album out this June called God of Angels Trust. A new single is available to download now. By A Monster's Hand. You can check that out. All right, Nikki B. from Spokane, Washington said, have you streamed White Lotus yet? Oh, God, Nikki, I've tried. Everybody tells me, you got to see White Lotus. You got to see White Lotus. And I've tried. Sweet Jesus, have I tried. But it just doesn't speak to me. No matter what episode I dial into, I look at it and I go, what does everybody see in this thing? It just doesn't connect with me. Maybe if it was a lotus of a different color, maybe it would. All right, Allison F. from Sparks, Nevada said, what's the easiest way to break up with a guy so he won't turn around and stalk me? Well, you know, there's never any guarantees about this stuff. But I would say probably your best bet is whatever you do, Allison, you have to make him think it's his idea. That way he'll go away. If he thinks whatever you have to do to create this whole scenario, that he comes in, he says, I'm breaking up with you. That's your best hope if you don't want him to turn around and stalk you. All right, Mike D. from Youngstown, Ohio said, I met this really nice girl a couple of weeks ago who agreed to go out with me. When I called her, she said she had a toe fungus and wanted to wait for our date. Do you think it was legitimate or not? Toe fungus, huh? Wow. I've never run into this one before. Let me think. Let me think. I'm kicking it around. You know, I'd give her another chance. You know, I mean, in Youngstown, Ohio, a toe fungus is probably the least of your worries. But let's find out. Alexa, what do you think?
I pass on the skank and find a girl who doesn't have a toe jam problem.
Well, you wanted a direct answer. There you go. You ask Alexa, she tells it to you straight.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, here we go. Let's see if you can get this mystery voice correct today. Listen close and tell me who this famous actor is.
The first line was like Sergeant Blackout reporting for booty.
All right, if you guessed Ryan Gosling.
Correctamundo.
And if you missed it, go see your doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. All right, I got to go. I got to see a doctor about my numbskull today, but I do have one more thing for you. You know, scientists say if everybody in the world washed their hands properly, we would save over 1 million lives per year. Think about that, 1 million lives per year. Now, I've talked about this, I'm going to say ad nauseum here on the podcast. Wash your hands before and after you go to the bathroom. It's that simple. I never get colds. I didn't get the flu, or didn't get COVID. I never get the flu. Nothing. Nada. For decades. simply because I wash my hands before and after I go to the bathroom. Now, I used to fly twice a month for 7 years consecutively. Never got sick. So trust me on this one, okay?
Hey, you sexy mofo, let's do some shout-outs to Rat Nation.
Did you just call me a sexy mofo?
Yes, I did. It's called brown nosing. Now shut up and do the gosh darn shout-outs.
I think we need some sexy music. I think so. Alexa's been flirting with me all day today, don't you think? Ooh. It's times like this when I wish I had some dollar bills and a pole.
Oh, get over yourself, you big ding-dong.
All right, welcome to Rat Nation. Connie Stackhouse of Topeka, Kansas. Dirk DeBon of Charleston, West Virginia. Gordy Andrews from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Bo D'Angelo from Ocean City, Maryland. And Linda Federline from Owensboro, Kentucky. I want to thank you all for being so kind and joining Rat Nation.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Be sure to check out the new ratsasspodcast.com to connect with us on the socials. Listen to the podcast. You can join Rat Nation and read the blog. It's loaded with current events, pop culture, sports, music, the Q&A, a lot of sex, and the Dumbass Awards so far this year. We'll get together again on Friday, April 18th. Take care of each other. And thanks again for dropping by The Wrap.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.